My name is Carina and welcome to the Carina Chronicles. In this video I will talk about the first movie of the Chronicles of Narnia, being The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which is the second part of the Chronicles if you read them in chronological order. So let's just talk about it, okay? So the Chronicles of Narnia consist of 7 books and they are written in a different order than they take place in Narnia. And in this collection, in this omnibus, I read them in chronological order, so that is not in publication order. The movies came out in publication order and stopped after the first 3, being The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian and the Voyage of the Dawn Trader. And those are the books 2, 4 and 5 of the Chronicles if you read them in chronological order, which is a bit weird. There was announced that there would be a 4th movie about the 6th book, The Silver Chair. But that later changed on when they sold the rights to Netflix, and that was in 2019, so I hope there will still be a Netflix adaptation of The Silver Chair, but we will see. At least the first 3 movies I have watched a million times when I was younger, but I never had read the books. But now I finally read all the books, all the 7, and I thought it would be fun to rewatch the movies, not all in one video, don't worry about it. But rewatch all the movies and see if I actually think it's a good adaptation, if I like the movie on its own, if I like the book on its own, if I like them as a whole. And well, that was a journey. So let's quickly start. We're now doing only The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, of which the movie is already 2.5 hours. And you can see it on Disney Plus if you haven't. So let's quickly start with that. So the first thing I noticed when I read all the Narnia books, but especially The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, is that there's a big Christian part in this. Actually, it's more like a youth Bible, but then translated into an adventure story. And I really didn't notice it when I watched the movies and when I was younger overall. But the comparison is just undeniable. It always came to me that the book is about teaching values to children. So of course that could be linked to Christianity, but Aslan is just Jesus. I have seen discussions about if Aslan is God or Jesus, but Carina from the future here, I just said a major spoiler, so I'm going to put spoiler on the screen and you need to watch out, but it won't spoil your enjoyment because it's a children's movie and book. It doesn't really matter if you know what's happening, right? I've watched it for the millionth time and it was still great. I don't know why these discussions are going on, because Aslan can walk on water, he changes water into wine, he is sacrificed to take on all the sins of the whole world, so no one ever has to suffer for their sins anymore, and all their sins are forgotten, especially Edmund's in the story, but he says all of them. And then he resurrects from the death because he, well, well, that was a mild spoiler by the way, but if you now have still not seen the movie, why? Well, so the big resemblance with the story of Jesus wasn't really something I figured out when I was younger, and I'm not certain if that is because of that the movie makes it less obvious or that I was just too young to understand. So I don't think that changes anything about my rating of it, but it does change my view on it. So curious to see those things. What I really liked in the book is in how little words and how little pages C.S. Lewis could actually create this immense world, this incredible, fantastic world, without using too many words, because all the Chronicles were only 100 pages and so many things happened, but you still could see it so clear, and nothing was left unclear. You just knew, you just dove immediately into this world. And I really liked that. What I didn't really like about the book was the misogyny of things. And I know this book was written right after the Second World War, I think. It's also taking place in the Second World War, so makes sense. But right after the Second World War, and I know misogyny in books was so common that it wasn't really meant in a harsh way, so you maybe should put it in that time frame. But I really hate when there is a whole story where a whole world is created and everything is possible, and women are still not as important as men, which you see in how Peter and Edmund are treated compared to Susan and Lucy. And it's always like there were things said as they of course didn't cry as the girls did, and it was said like, oh, of course we're going in unless Lucy doesn't dare to. And that kind of withheld me from my enjoyment sometimes, although I know it's very common. So that is the main reason that I didn't give it 5 stars, because I think the writing is incredible, and this is one of the most important and incredible children Chronicles series that ever existed, and it really needs to be told to every children now as well. All the characters had their flaws, and that it was meant that way because they learned to deal with those, but Susan was really unbearable in the books. Oh my. She didn't want to do anything, and it was not that apparent in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, but later on in the books they literally said Susan wasn't really smart, she was only pretty, so that's what she used her femininity for or something. I was like, what? So didn't really like that, but not going to judge this book for what is going to happen later on. But the character of Susan was already very shallow. Didn't really like that, because in my memory Susan in the movies was the most incredible person ever, and I wanted to be her in every single way, or to want to be with her. That would also have been fine. I needed her. So when I read the books I was like, this is not the Susan I remember. So after reading that, I actually watched the movie. I watched it when I was still ill, and my, I have a clip for you. I usually don't do that when I rate books. I have done this before for Anxious People and Normal People, which were both TV series, but I normally don't film myself when I watch it, but I needed to film a clip, so I will put it here. Okay, I don't usually make these clips, definitely not when I'm looking like this, but I needed to show you. The movie has been going on for 10 minutes and I've already cried 3 times. I don't know what it is, but this movie, this is my childhood, and it's even better than I remembered. Well, at least the first 10 minutes are. Lucy is the most amazing child actor I've ever seen. Everyone is so good, the character development is so good, the war perspective, and oh my, I'm going to be bawling my eyes out for the whole 2.5 hours of this movie. And I'm so happy I'm rewatching it. It's so good. I want to watch the whole trilogy, and I really love it. Okay, for the actual good discussion, I will turn now back to the video, but I needed to show you a clip. First 10 minutes, 3rd time crying. I never have this. So as you see, I'm quite moved by this story. The child actors are incredible. I can't believe it. They are so incredible because you see the flaws of the characters, you see them in every single way, but you can't help but love them anyway, and they really learn to overgrow those flaws, and it is really good. It is really good, and it's still exciting, but not in a scary way, which makes it perfect for children, but also for older people. And for that time, I think the movie was in 2005. The special effects weren't even that bad. Okay, some were bad, like when they're riding Aslan's back. That didn't look good. But if you're forgetting that, everything looked pretty awesome, which I was really surprised about. The character of Susan was still not as likable as I thought, but that was kind of her flaw. You could really see, so the story is, I didn't even tell what the story is about, I just assumed everyone knew. But the story is about 4 children. Peter, the oldest, then you have Susan, Edmund and Lucy. And they need to flee because the Second World War is happening. Their father is fighting in the war and the mother sends them away to keep safe. So they are going to the house of a professor they don't even know, and they're not really enjoying themselves there. And then Lucy finds out there's a secret world in the wardrobe of this house, like the entrance is at the wardrobe. And she goes to this world, and then apparently there is a prophecy that when 4 human beings will sit on the throne, Narnia will finally have peace again. So everyone is very happy that they arrive there. And in the books, they are willing to fight for this country because they believe the prophecy. In the movie, they just stay because Edmund is kidnapped and they just want to save him. They don't want to save the country, they just want to save him. But what you really see in these characters is that Peter, of course, is asked to take care of his little brother and sisters, and he really acts like his father. And the other children kind of blame him for that, but also look up to him. So you really see that his flaws are mostly connected to that he wants to be braver than he is, that he wants to be more of an authority than he is, and just assumes like, I'm the leader, just listen to me. And he really learns to be a real leader. Susan's flaws are that she really wants to be the mother of the company, and she just wants everyone to be safe. So in the story, when children watch this, they're probably like, she's so boring and she is so scared and never brave, but she just wants to protect her family and don't do anything irrational. And in the movie, she's definitely not dumb. She is the most intelligent person ever. She's even quite the nerd in the movie, so happy that they changed that. Then Edmund is like just filled with anger because he feels left by his father and kind of his mother, and doesn't understand why everyone gets their job in their new family and he doesn't. So he becomes very treacherous because of that, and that causes a lot of problems. And Lucy is just a very young little girl that is very brave and wants to save the world. And that's just great. And she grows a little bit out of her naivety. So that's just a little bit what the story is about. And I think the movie is perfect. Like, I watched it right after I read the book, and they almost changed nothing except for the part where Edmund is kidnapped for way longer. So the whole story is more about freeing Edmund and then maybe freeing Narnia, while the story in the book is about freeing Narnia. But I think it makes sense because it had a more exciting and longer story in that way. What they also changed is that the misogyny is a little bit less. There's literally one sentence when They get gifts. I'm not going to tell from who because that's too much of a spoiler. But they get gifts. And then when this person hands weapons to both Susan and Lucy, in the book, he literally says, wars and battles tend to be rather ugly when women are in there. So that's why this person thinks that Susan and Lucy shouldn't use their weapons. Which, okay, why are wars and battles only ugly when women participate, but okay. In the movie, they copy-pasted the literal sentence, but left out the one part. They just said, I hope you never have to use them, because wars and battles tend to be rather ugly. Well, wasn't that so hard? No. So, I really like that the misogyny was a little bit less in the movies. I'm very impressed by this movie. 2.5 hours long, very pretty, very exciting. The child actors were great. Well, all the actors were great, but the child actors were incredible. And I can't wait to watch Prince Caspian because I remember that to be my favorite movie. So, yay! And I'm also really curious to see if they are actually going to make a Netflix series out of the Silver Chair, because yes, please, I need more content. I know the actors will be different, but I need more. I'm so happy that I read this and that I watched this again. And maybe I'll just put it on again now. No, but I'm serious. This is so good. I don't know if it would honestly be as good if it didn't have the nostalgic feeling. But this had the same value to me as watching a Harry Potter movie or something. But better, because I never read the books, and now that I've read the books, I see so many more things in the movie. So if you are as me and have forgotten all about Narnia or haven't looked at it for a while, see this as your sign to do so again, because it is very good. And that is actually it. I really hope you liked it. I hope you like Narnia as well. And otherwise we'll watch or read it now. Let me know which movie or book to movie adaptation you want me to do next, because I have a whole more list. But if you have any suggestions, then of course I will listen to that. If you like this video, please leave a like, and if you subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell, you will be notified whenever I post a new video. I hope you'll have a lovely day filled with books, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye! I was way more enthusiastic about this movie than I expected. I was looking forward to it, but I thought, 2.5 hours, that's long. But no, this was incredible.